Hello, beautiful. Welcome. Today we're talking about creating a life we're truly in love with. And if at any point you feel that anyone needs to know this information, anyone would benefit from it, please consider sharing this video. Share it with anyone who would enjoy watching it. And let's get started. I'm really excited. So what I've noticed from people who want to travel more, who want to live their best life, a lot of people feel that they have to create a bucket list and then start checking off the boxes. Kind of like the been there, done that style. And the question is that the only thing to do? Is that the right thing to do? And I'm not sure if you have a bucket list, but I know that just doing things for the sake of doing them is not the same as creating an experience. And it's amazing to have a bucket list with all the things we still want to do and experience in our life. But there is a difference between just doing them, as I just said, or really feeling into them, really creating an experience out of them. And there's a difference between people who, let's say, travel to like 100 countries a year, or who've been to all the countries in a super crazy short amount of time, and the ones that actually really live life, the ones that actually really trying to create an experience out of it. And I know a lot of people do not have a lot of time. I know a lot of people are not able to travel over extended periods of time. But a lot of times when we try to crash everything into a really short amount of time, let's say we're going to 5 countries in 3 days, we're like having 2 hours in a city until we're like checking like the time all the time, until we have to be at the airport, till we're like, oh my god, we have 2 hours and I still want to do this and I still want to do that and I still want to go all these places. And we're trying to enjoy the place we're in, we're trying to experience it, we're trying to really live life, but in our head we're already at the airport, we're already in the next city, we're already somewhere else, and then we're worried about whatever else is going on, and maybe we're with a partner or with a kid or with a travel buddy and they're bugging us and we're like totally overwhelmed. And the question is this the kind of life we want to be living? Is this the kind of experience that we want to create? And it's great to just check off boxes and say, oh, I've been swimming with whale sharks, and I've been skydiving, and I visited Bali and Rio, and I've tried kayaking and snorkeling, and all these really cool things that a lot of people want to do, checking off the boxes. But it's really not the same as creating an experience out of it. So each experience gets to be different depending on who we're being, depending on how we want to tell the story, depending on the kind of person we are and how we want to experience it. And how you want to experience it yourself really creates the story around it. There is really a difference between just going to the Niagara Falls and just looking like, cool, I've seen them, or really being there, anchoring in the moment, really looking at what you're seeing, really experiencing it, really taking in the moment. And we're going to talk more about this tomorrow, of how to anchor in moments, how to really create memories that will stay with you forever. But the question is really like who we are while living life is what matters most. So who are we being? And one of the problems that I see the most is people are just so busy living life in a rat race, doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, that there's very little mental space for beauty and joy, for experiences, for memories, and for truly living a life that they are in love with. And it's really not just about like camping under the stars and doing all the things if we do not really enjoy the experience. And how many times have we done something? Let's say we tried camping with our family, or we tried a weekend getaway and it totally crashed and it was like the worst experience ever. We're like, ugh. Driving there, Driving there, we got stuck in traffic. Then we got there. The hotel or the cottage we booked was not really clean. The people there were unfriendly. By the time we arrived there, my travel buddy, my husband or my kid, whoever you're with, was like totally annoyed already. Then the weather was kind of shitty, so you couldn't do what you actually planned on doing. The food in the restaurant was like, it was okay, but it wasn't like the most mind-blowing thing ever. And then you're like, we could have actually stayed home. We would have prevented us from going through all this, through like living these shitty experiences and not really enjoying what we're doing. So what's the freaking point? But the thing here is, things can always go wrong. But how can we create something that still makes a beautiful memory? How can we turn it around? And how can we still really enjoy life? But the question therefore is, who do we have to be? And it's not always easy, because I know it's so easy to complain and to be unhappy with things and to be upset. But really, like, who do you want to be? And I know I've repeated this a lot, but like, it's so important to really know, who do you want to be? What's the kind of life you want to be living? Because really, just checking off the boxes, it's not worth it. I've tried it, I've done it, and it really doesn't make a difference. Like, if we're not really enjoying it, there's no freaking point of doing it. And to be honest, most people just scratch the surface. They just scratch the surface of what is possible in life. Jennifer! Most people really just scratch the surface, and they're living on a superficial level. They think they're doing all the things, they're checking off all the boxes, they've been to school, they've been to high school, they're trying to have a career, or they're being in their job, check all the cool things that society wants you to do. But are you really living life? Are you really creating something? Are you really light up by the life you're living? Are you really enjoying the experiences you're creating on a daily basis? And how many experiences are we creating for ourselves? And the cool thing is always, nobody's gonna knock on our door and say like, hey, I have the most incredible adventure for you. You wanna come along? You wanna come? Do you wanna come? It's not happening. Like, we have to go out. Nobody's gonna knock on our door and like drag us out there. So that's the most important thing. Like, how deep do you wanna live? How much do you wanna experience life? Do you really just wanna sit there and be like, cool, you know, like today I went to the Niagara Falls, and tomorrow we're flying to South Africa and we're gonna swim with sharks, and you know, it's a pretty cool life? Or do you want to be lit up by the experience? Do you really want to like wake up in the morning like, oh my god, like this is my life, I can't believe how beautiful my life is, I can't believe all the incredible things that I get to see and experience and live? And we don't actually need to travel all the time. We don't need to be digital nomad. We don't need to travel full time. We can do that from being at home. We can do that from one weekend away. We can do it from an hour that we dedicate to really enjoying our life and doing something we fully love. But what it takes is being intentional and being present. Really being intentional and trying to get the most out of life. You must know yourself first to be more. Well, if you don't know yourself, start getting to know yourself. You're not going to get to know yourself by just sitting at home and watching Netflix or working in a job that you hate. If you have to get to know yourself, go out there. Get on your limits. That is why I love traveling so much, because traveling has us experiencing so many different emotions in a really short time. We go through like anger and frustration and exhaustion and overwhelm and pure beauty and joy in a really, really short time. And this is really when we get to know ourselves, when we get to know our limits, and when we actually start feeling, this is who I am right now. When I get frustrated, I get cranky. When people are mad at me, I get really insecure. This is when we start getting to know ourselves, and this is when we can notice like, this is who I am being. Is that who I want to be? Do I want to start shouting at people when I get upset or frustrated? Do I want to get insecure and hide for the next 3 days inside my house when something bad happens to me? Do I want to hate on the world when people try to scam me? Is that who I want to be? Is that how I want to live my life? No. For me, that's not the truth. I want to really enjoy my life. And if that's the kind of life I want to be living, then who do I need to be? Then I need to let go of things that do not matter. Then I need to really enjoy life and not focus on the negative things. I need to extract a lesson of things that didn't work, learn from them, and really look at like, okay, this didn't work last time. I got screwed up in Bali. People trying to like give you like fake money exchange rate. Okay, that didn't work. I didn't know this, so it's my fault. I'm taking responsibility because I wasn't aware of being scammed. I got myself into that situation. So now I have to take responsibility and turn it around. Of course I can be angry at the people trying to like screw everyone up, but is that gonna change something? They're still gonna keep on doing it. So why do I have to ruin my life? Why do I have to ruin my experience of enjoying my life depending on what other people do? It's all bullshit. I've learned my lesson. Now I can keep on living my best life. And if someone wants to learn from my lesson, I can share my lesson. And if not, they go through the same thing. They learn their lesson. They keep on living their best life. Mindset, intention, and inspired action. Passion. That is exactly how we start living our best life. So the question is, how alive are you feeling? How alive are you truly? Are you living the oh my god. See, when I get really excited, my English starts to crumble. This happens when English is your third language. Sorry for that. So how alive are you really feeling? Are you living in the rat race, or are you actually breaking out there and say like, I'm enjoying my life. I'm feeling alive. This is the kind of life I want to be living. How alive are you? I'd love to know. Being alive and feeling alive is a little bit different than just doing life and checking off all the boxes that we need to do. And that's also why I created Adventurously Alive. It's my new mastermind. It's on a monthly basis. People can join anytime. You can stay however long you want. We have two monthly calls, and it's all about learning how to travel, how to make travel part of who you are, how to really enjoy the experience, all about the emotional intelligence, being alive, feeling alive, changing your mindset around travel and about the way you're living life. I'm going to talk more about that tomorrow as well. People can only meet us as far as they've met themselves, yeah. And how we experience ourselves really sets the standards on how other people can experience us. My favorite quote is always, who we are when the tent collapses in the rain is who we are. Because we can pretend to be happy, we can live our best life when it's sunny and when everything is working out our best way. But when we run out of gas in the middle of the highway, when the tent collapses and it's freaking raining outside, when the fireplace stops working and it's minus 30 degrees outside, or the AC isn't working and it's 40 degrees outside and it's freaking humid, this is who we really are. In these moments, it really shows our personality. My phone, sorry guys. So that is why I've created that mastermind, because it's so important to really live our best life and to not get to the end of the life and be like, shit, I wish I had taken more advantage. I wish I had lived life more. And I've seen this so many times. My mom used to work in the oncology department. When people get to the end of their life and they still have so many unfulfilled dreams and desires, it's the worst thing. Yet it happens to so many people. And that's not the kind of life we want to be living. If we already know that the possibilities are quite high that this will happen, we better change something now, because now we still have time to really live our best life, to experience all the incredible things that we can, that we want to do. Oh, have fun at work, Jenny. Sending you all the love. So if this is the kind of life you want to be living, start being intentional. Start really looking at who you're being, how you're reacting to certain situations, and how you want to change it. Life is too beautiful and too short not to really experience it on a deeper level. And if you want to join a mastermind, let me know. I'm going to give you more information tomorrow as well. It's the most incredible thing. Whatever you need, you're supported, because I really care about people living their best life and really getting out of their comfort zone, getting out of the rat race, getting out of being stuck, being in their head, being all emotional, and letting small things get into their way, letting small experiences ruin the whole trip. Like, getting scammed in one day doesn't mean that the whole trip is shit. Having a bad person at the reception of the hotel and not getting the room that you wanted doesn't mean that the whole trip has to be shitty. But who do you want to be? How do you want to react to it? And what's the kind of life you want to be living? So thank you so much for watching. Tomorrow we're going to be live with day number 3. It's going to be all about the emotional intelligence and how to change these kind of emotions around when things go wrong while we're traveling, while we're trying to live our best life, and how to really create the most incredible memories. Because at the end, that's all that counts. Hope you enjoyed that. If you know anyone who would benefit from watching this, please share it, and I hope to see you tomorrow.